Go the Rams.
Adelaide to bring it out from their own line. And met by some very willing Auckland defence. And push back a couple of metres. Kieran Wallace just goes from dubbing half to pick up Darren Doherty. 25 metres out from his own line.
As now the Adelaide Rams make their way out onto Marathon Stadium for the first time.
Welcome to the Rampage League podcast, coming to you live from the Brew Boys Brewery down here in Croydon, South Australia. Lest we forget, that will be the main theme of the NRL this round 8. As Rugby League remembers the ANZACs, round 8 will be headlined by the Dragons and Roosters annual ANZAC Day clash, which never fails to deliver entertainment of the highest order. There are also many other storylines set to play out, as well as the potential return of a superstar or two. As always, this week of NRL action is not to be missed. For the latest round 8 analysis, I'm joined by Simon.
I'm here. Yes, welcome everyone. It's lovely to be here again, talking about rugby league. And yeah, a special week for ANZAC Day round. It's always special in my heart and a lot of people who serve our nation. So thank you very much for everyone who serves our country. But yeah, it's going to be exciting round. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, absolutely. No, definitely. A very special round always. And yes.
Yeah, I feel like ANZAC Day, just when it's the games, it gives you goosebumps. I love hearing the last post, the national anthems, obviously, and it just gives me chills watching our servicemen out there with their uniforms. It's beautiful, really, and kind of brings a tear to the eye when you think about how lucky we are to be in Australia and have such great servicemen and women in the Defence Force.
No, definitely could not have said it better myself. And I guess we should have a look at we'll review the round 7.
Round 7, yeah, it seems like so long ago, but it wasn't really that long ago, was it, really? When we start off, it was Thursday night, it was the Storm versus the Roosters. I said this last week that it was it was going to be a great game, and it didn't really disappoint. The Storm won 18-12, but it could have went either way, really. Like, it's not a big scoring match. Both teams always seem to be up high on the ladder. So yeah, it was a good game. It was a good game Thursday night. I feel like the problem with games on Thursday is just the crowd. I feel like unless you Melbourne kind of get a good crowd, but in Sydney there's not big crowds on a Thursday night. So I understand Thursday night football is good for TV ratings and stuff, but
yes.
I don't feel like you ever get a massive crowd on a Thursday night. And again, at Allianz Stadium in Sydney, there wasn't a great crowd there. I haven't got the actual figures, but it didn't seem like there was many people there, which is a shame. But for Thursday night football, but we move on to Friday night game. This is a massive shock to me. Massive shock. So it was the early game in Wollongong. It was the Dragons versus the Warriors. The Warriors, to me, I feel like they up there for premiership favourites. They've got a great team, great coach. They've got their backline is this electric, and then they played the Dragons, who everyone's picking to finish down the bottom of the ladder. Shane Flanagan is a good coach, but they haven't really got a lot of depth in their forwards. Ben Hunt wants to leave. Apparently, he wants to stay. He wants to leave. He keeps changing his mind. And the Warriors lost 30 points to 12. I just did not see that coming.
No.
So, yeah, the
They've
Warriors
usually Warriors have been pretty good
Pretty good,
up to that point, and
I was very shocked that they got flogged 30 points to 12. So I did not see that coming.
no,
The second game, another one for shock. This was in Darwin. Remember I said, now come Darwin, we get a game. We can't get a game out late. So the Eels played the Dolphins. And the Dolphins, they had their fullback out, Hammer. He was out. So I'm like, well, that's a big out for them. And I'm thinking Parramatta would win. The Dolphins smashed them 44-16. Parramatta have had some really up and down form. So they win one week and then they get flogged the next week. So that was interesting, to see. I think it's one of the Dolphins' biggest wins in their history of their club. So I just didn't see that coming. I thought it'd be a closer game. It was fairly hot in Darwin, obviously, and they just smashed them.
yep, for definitely,
Yeah. And then we go to Saturday's game, and it was the Panthers versus the West Tigers in Bathurst. And it always, some reason, the Tigers always seem to go good against the defending premiers, the three-time defending premiers, the Panthers. But the Panthers, without Nathan Cleary, they won it quite easily. It was 22 points to 6, but it should have been closer. I felt like watching the game. It just the Tigers just didn't have that killer punch to get a try. So
yeah, that's right. Yes,
yeah. So the second game on Super Saturday was the mighty Manly Seagulls versus the Titans. So Manly always struggled against the Titans. So Des was coming back against Manly after leaving, and I was very worried watching this game. Like, it was a high-scoring match. 34-30. Manly won, but we didn't play well, but the Titans played well. So watch out, Titans. They've got to win soon. We'll talk about that shortly.
Oh, yep, definitely.
Yeah. The thing about the Titans, I felt like every time the Titans play on the Gold Coast, the away team always has more fans. Always.
Yes,
We're Titans fans. I'd love to hear from anyone who actually listens to this podcast. Are you a Titans fan? Is there anyone who goes for the Titans? I feel like there's not many, if any.
Definitely. Let us know on our social media. We'd like to hear from our fans, especially if you are a Titans fan.
Yeah. The last game of the Super Saturday was the Broncos versus the Raiders. And I was expecting the Raiders to turn up because the Raiders have been pretty good. But the Broncos have been inconsistent. But the Broncos, they smashed them as well. Like, it was 34 points to 10. Raiders bit under didn't show up 100%. If you don't show up, there's a chance you're going to lose in the NRL. You can't be 90% every week. You've got to show up. Otherwise, you're going to get a score put on you. Yeah, so I was a bit disappointed for Raiders fans. And I was another game I was shocked. Because a shock all weekend, I feel like. Every game
yes.
So you go to Sunday. This was the Bulldogs versus the Knights. And I was like, Knights will win this. Bulldogs smashed them again. 36 points to 12. Kalen Pong got injured. He's out for 12 weeks. So that's a big out for them.
It is, Robert, definitely.
Because he's their centre of their attack. So when they're up in the 20, you always see Kalen Pong at the back ready to put on a pass or a side step, whatever. He's not there for 12 weeks. Does that kind of put an arrow through the Knights for finals football? It might do. He's a big part of their team. And even more so for Queensland. They've got Reece Walsh at fullback for Queensland, but Kalen Pong, he was probably in the conversation for a utility spot, maybe. And he's out. He's gone for 12 weeks. Yeah.
With 12 weeks, that basically puts him out of state of origin contention.
Yeah, so that's interesting. And the last game, I didn't see this one either coming. Another shock for me. It was the Cowboys versus the Sharks. The Sharks won 42 points to 6. The Cowboys are a good team, but the Sharks destroyed them. I was shocked. I did not see the Sharks win that, but the Sharks are on top of the ladder too. So
yes, and Jack, who works here at the Brew Boys Brewery, is one very happy chap. He's a big Sharks fan.
Yeah. And it's funny because you don't really meet many Sharks fans outside of Cronulla.
Definitely.
I've been to a game with the Sharks, but I used to go to Cronulla a fair bit when I lived in Sydney. It's a beautiful place to live. There's some strange people there, but that's everywhere in Australia these days.
Yes, yeah.
There's beautiful beaches. And the Sharks, they're not the most successful club, but they're on top now. And this could be the year. You never know. It could be a Sharks versus Warriors grand final.
That would be interesting. It's a very interesting grand final.
And then the bye had South. And South needed the bye really bad.
They did,
yes. They were struggling big time. And they got them off the bottom ladder. So brought on to the bye. So let's move on from that. We'll talk about the Sharks since they're on our tongues right now.
Yep.
So Dale Finucane announced his immediate retirement today.
The Veterans Sharks forward, Dale Finucane, has announced he'll retire from the NRL at the end of the season, despite having another year on his contract. Finucane has played 251 games for Canterbury, Melbourne and Cronulla, winning premierships with the Storm in 2017 and 2020. He's also played 5 Origins for New South Wales and was part of the Blues series wins in 2019 and 2021. He says he did everything in his power to keep playing, but the decision made on medical advice ultimately wasn't his to make.
I just felt like if I didn't exhaust every potential avenue, that in a year's time I would have regrets about, the potential to be able to play. And I think I can feel a lot more content in the decision now because I know that I couldn't have done any more. I exhausted absolutely every avenue to be able to play. And at the end of the day, the decision wasn't mine to make. So I can live with that.
Dale Finucane used to obviously play for the Storm when the Storm were big, and then he moved to Cronulla, and he was kind of plagued with injuries for a while, and then now he's had to kind of retire effective immediately. He's just one of those guys you just love to have in your team. Tough, always does the hard jobs, tackles hard, plays hard, and he's always fair. You never kind of see him do any grubby or anything. And he can play the guitar. He can sing as well. He used to play on the Footy Show back when the Footy Show was around.
Yep, that's right.
It's kind of sad to see someone retire mid-year because they never get that kind of farewell. So he's gone. People forget about him in a couple of weeks, which is sad because he's had 251 games, won premierships with the Storm, played for his state. I don't know if he played for his country or not. Might have, but yeah, I think underrated kind of player. I feel like he's a player that everyone needs in their team. Someone similar. Well, I don't have to have a Dale Finucane because you can't have 17 Dale Finucanes, but you need someone of that kind of player. And yeah, I hope he all the best in his retirement because he's a great player.
He is absolutely very, very good player.
And then we got the other news from Cronulla, and that was their halfback, Braden Trindle, failed a roadside alcohol and illicit drugs test early Monday morning. So
Sharks player Braden Trindle will face court next month after failing roadside alcohol and drug tests. Michael Chammas joins us now. Michael, when did this take place?
Occurred around 10 a.m. on Monday, the morning after Cronulla's big win over the Cowboys. Now, Braden Trindle, he went with Sharks teammates to celebrate the win at teammate Toby Rudolph's apartment. He later continued the celebration with some friends. Now, the next morning on his way to training, he was pulled over for a random breath test and blew .124 and also tested positive to an illicit substance, all while driving with a license that was expired rather. Now, he won't play this weekend. He awaits an NRL sanction and will front court on May 17.
Gone for the immediate future.
Yes, yep. So, the Sharks confirmed on Tuesday, so today, that Tyndall would not train or play while the incident is being dealt with. And
that's not a good look, isn't it?
No.
I feel like it happens too much. You drink, you don't drive. It's simple.
Absolutely.
The whole thing, I think, it's the big part of it. If you drink and drive, it's bad. But the failing the drugs, that is not good.
Do we know if it was one or other, or are we being led to believe it was both?
Yeah, that's what I've read into it. Yeah, he failed initial roadside alcohol and illicit drugs test. So when you do the drug test on the side, which I've never done, I've never had a drug test on the side of the road, but they do the initial one and they got to send it off to the lab to confirm. I watched RBT on Channel 9.
Yes.
And they got to test it, and it comes back positive. Then you're guilty, basically. Might be a wrong test or something, but it's not. Doesn't look good.
No.
Alcohol test, then you fail your drugs test. As a rugby league player, he should be slid down for the rest of the season. That, in my personal opinion, if you do drugs or if you do drink and drive, you should. And you're a professional sports player, you should be out for the rest.
Oh, definitely. Not that I'm trying to defend him at all. I totally agree with what you're saying, but you've got to wonder what else is going on in his life. Is there something at the Sharks maybe that we don't know about, or in his family life that maybe?
Yeah, I guess you got to think of that too. So you got to make sure there's help available for him. But if you have, obviously, you have got to ask for help. You can't just drink stuff and make it feel better. If you have problems, you ring the numbers, you talk to the people, and get help. You don't. Yeah, doing alcohol, doing it wrong. And like everyone, like what we're doing here, drinking beers at Brew Boys Brewery, and we're talking about don't drink.
Yes.
But yeah, you know what I mean? Like you don't drink and drive, obviously. But
totally agree. And of course, these services would be available through either the club or from the NRL.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure all clubs have like mental health checks and stuff like that because their players, obviously, a lot of money they put in their players, a lot of training, a lot of obviously. So they want to look after their players. So they'd definitely be looking in his best interest. I hope it's an isolated incident, but I feel like if he's in the wrong, which it looks like he might be, rub him out for the rest of the year. If he has something wrong or something, like you can't kind of judge him for that, but he's got to come out and maybe do some community service for the kids or something. Just hopefully there's a positive ending to this bad story. Like I feel for the club because they're doing so well at the moment, and it kind of just tarnishes that number one on the ladder with roadside test, you know.
And thinking by not being able to line up on this round and probably future rounds, you're not just letting yourself down, you're letting the club, your teammates, the fans down. It's just,
It's the one thing you let down the club, the fans, but you let down yourself and your family too. Like,
oh, of course.
You know, so hopefully, we can move on and he'll come back a stronger player and learn from his mistakes. Because obviously everyone makes mistakes. And if you learn from mistakes, you're a better person, aren't you? So
Definitely.
I reckon we'll move on. This one is interesting. This topic we'll talk about is the Titans. Okay, I smashed the Titans for years. Okay, no fans, no atmosphere in their crowd. They haven't won a game all year, but they're dangerous. They put 30 points on Manly. They almost beat the Raiders. They're going to win soon. They can't lose all 25 games.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
You look at their team. So AJ Brimson, played for Queensland, quality fullback. They finally put him back at fullback, put him in the halves earlier. Didn't work. The player I've been surprised because I love watching the Titans play. I just think they're in the wrong location. They should be in Adelaide. But anyway, Ryan Kelly's played well in the centres. He used to play for Manly.
Yes.
Been really good this year. I think disappointing has been Kieran Foran. Okay, I think he's just really old now. I think he's past his days. And he probably should retire in the year. He's got so many injuries, Kieran Foran.
Yes.
Then you've got so they're missing Tino, who's out for the year, and David Fafita's kind of been a bit hit and miss as well. So if they get David Fafita kind of playing like a Viliami kick out on the edge, that would help them. Des has got to be thinking something because he's too smart of a coach to just let them just keep losing. So they played the Warriors this weekend, and that is a danger game because the Warriors, they lost last week. That's in New Zealand, but will the Titans break their drought this week? I'd love for you to have a thought on this, Darren. What's your thoughts about the Titans? Can they win this weekend?
I'd like to say they could. It would be interesting if they win over there, but can't win back here and back in Australia. So,
I feel like if they lose again, that'd be 7 straight. That's going to be putting so much pressure, not on just Des, who's a great coach. You don't just lose how to coach, but the players, they've got to be held accountable. The players, they're the ones go out there, they put the performance on the board, and I feel like they're getting closer. If they don't win this week, I'll tell you they're playing next week while we're this year.
It's almost like they've been drinking the same water as the Adelaide Crows have.
It doesn't get any better next week either.
Record.
They play the Storm next week. That's going to be hard.
Absolutely.
So round 10. So next week, round 10. Okay, who do they play? They've got the Cowboys.
Another tough game.
And every game seems tough. Round 11. All right, here we go. Round 11. Titans play. Where are they? I've lost them. Here we go. There they are. They play the Knights. That might be their first win. They might have to wait till round 11 for their first win. If that's the case, I think Des will be gone.
Oh yes, yep.
He'll be.
He would
take over? Yeah.
Who would step in? Because Demetrio is also on the edge of being kicked out.
There's a coach that I highly rate. He coached a few years ago, and this is just a complete rumor. I just made up on the spot. But David Furner.
Yes.
I feel like he is a great coach. There's another coach I'm trying to think of. I can't get his name. Michael Hagan. Remember him? He used to be Newcastle coach.
Right.
Coach. Mal Meninga.
Yes.
I'm talking about Mal Meninga going to South to replace old mate. I can't say his last name. But he's employed by the Titans. Well, he used to be. I don't know if he still is, but he was a Titans mentor. So maybe Mal Meninga, which would be good. He's coached Australia. Maybe if they got Mal Meninga, they could entice other players to go to the Gold Coast. Gold Coast is a great place to live, but it's not a great place to play football, is it?
No, that's right.
But yeah, hopefully the Titans get a win soon. It might be round 11. It might be. I'm worried.
Yes.
I'm glad I'm not a Titans fan. But yeah, all right, go for a break, Darren, and we'll come back with Random Rugby League Ladder Watch.
Yes.
Are you a passionate rugby league fan? Want to see a rugby league team in Adelaide? If you answered yes to these questions, then we want to hear from you. Here at the Rampage League podcast, we're looking for the next presenter, someone who will bring their passion and enthusiasm to the Rampage League podcast, someone who wants a rugby league team back in Adelaide. For more info, send an email to producer Darren at admin@ozsportsonline.com. You're tuned into the Rampage League podcast on Ozports Radio.
Yes, we're back here at the Brew Boys Brewery, broadcasting live for the Rampage League podcast. My name's Darren, and I'm joined by Simon.
Simon, it's me. Simon says it's time time for some ladder watch. Okay, this is always interesting to see who goes up, who goes down in the ladder. So on top is still the Sharks. The Sharks are up there, and they're playing some good football. And the thing about the Sharks that I've noticed for the last kind of 10 plus years is that their attack has always been a bit iffy. Their defense has always been really strong.
It has,
This year, their attack is a lot better, and their defense is still really good. Are they going to make the top four? Maybe. Are they a chance to make the grand final? 100%. If the way they're playing, Nico Hines, if he stays fit, they're definitely a chance of top four. So it's good to see. It's good to see someone besides the Panthers on top of the ladder.
Absolutely. No.
And then second on that, it's still the Storm. Storm seem to always be up there. That is Craig Bellamy. He's just a genius. And it's funny because everyone says that Wayne Bennett is like the GOAT of coaches. I still think Craig Bellamy is the GOAT. I think he's amazing.
You've just got to look at his history with the Storm and see what the Storm have achieved, and that all comes down to all the players. But and Bellamy, it's just
like they lose players and they still manage to get up there, and he kind of gets players from other clubs that are disappointing and not really at their potential, and he just makes them first-grade players. I'd love to go down to a training session of the Storm and just see what he does differently to other clubs to make these players so good.
Oh, it would be, definitely.
Right.
Well, we might have to organise a road trip, a Rampage League podcast road trip
to Melbourne. I definitely to watch myself coming back from Melbourne. Like they're just different people here, but yeah, it would be good to go. Craig Bellamy, invite us down and have a beer, a Brew Boys beer with you. Oh,
yes.
So third on ladder is the Dolphins. So a lot of people expect the Dolphins to slide. Okay, they might slide, but they're still playing good football. They flogged Parramatta, so they're a chance still top 8. Panthers are coming back up, and they've got Nathan Cleary back this week, so
that's a major win. Yeah,
so they're just a dangerous team, and they're another team that they've lost a lot of players. So they've lost Stephen Crichton, Matt Burt, lost Kickow. Like they're losing Fisher Harris next year to the Warriors, but they just have a production line of players because they've got such great juniors. The Panthers, so I expect them to be top 4. The 5th team on the ladder, I'm happy the 5th. They should be first. It's the Manly Sea Eagles.
Woo!
So we're in the top 8. We were inconsistent, but I feel like the more we play, the more we keep Turbo fit, and the more Luke Brooks plays with Cherry, we'll be up there. It's too early to tell if we'll make it the top 8, the top 4, or finish outside. But fingers crossed for us, we get that. The Broncos, so they were a bit down in form. They had a good win against the Raiders last week, and they're in the top 8. And I feel like they will just continue going up. Their team's too good of a team to just be outside the 8. So I think they'll be top 4. Once Reynolds gets back, I don't know if he's been named off the check this round, but I think he'll be a big thing for them. The Raiders have slided. The Cowboys have slided. They're still in the top 8. The Warriors have slided. So have the Roosters. Dogs have moved up to 12. And then the bottom of the ladder is the Titans last, the Rabbits, the Knights, the Eels, and the West Tigers. I feel like out of them teams, will be the Parramatta, the only team kind of who can come out of that. Maybe the Tigers. But I feel the Knights, the Rabbits, and the Titans, I don't think they're making the top 8. What's your thoughts about them? Do you think they'll make the top 8? Any of the Knights, the Rabbits, or the Titans? Do you reckon any of them make?
I think Knights. The
Knights has obviously got Kalen Ponga out for 12 weeks, so that's a big out. So for them to make the top 8 without him, they've got to find someone to play fullback. We'll see who they've checked when we do our preview, who's going to play fullback, and it's got to be someone. They've got to probably change their attack, their style of football without Kalen Ponga. So they're well coached though. So
they are very well coached, yeah.
See how they go. But that's ladder watch for this week.
Right.
Which I wanted some random rugby league. I'll give you my random rugby league. So I seem to spend a lot of time in the city. A lot of time. I do work. I have a job. I'm a dolphin trainer. I train dolphins. And I go to the city a lot. And I was just walking down on the wall and I was just seeing a rugby league sign. And I'm like, I thought I was tripping. I didn't have any mushrooms. Didn't have any Brew Boys Brewery. Which is amazing, by the way. If you haven't come down here, come down to Brew Boys Brewery. It's a beautiful place, beautiful beers. Anyway, so I walked into this shop. It was what's it called? Let me tell you what it's called, Darren. It's probably help. It's called Sporting Giftworks.
That's it, yes. Yep.
So I walked in and the whole bottom level AFL. I'm like, okay, where's this? I seen a rugby league sign. What's going on here? And then they had stairs. I'm like, okay, go up the stairs. And then there's rugby league merchandise. And I was in heaven because it wasn't just like a couple. I think there was a big selection of jerseys, training jerseys, mugs, like everything you think of. And they had all the teams, they had origin teams. And I feel like it's the first time in Adelaide I've seen a shop that has rugby league merchandise all year round. It was amazing.
It is amazing because I haven't been upstairs yet, so I've only seen it from Rundle Mall, and from the photo that you shared, I've only seen that amount of NRL gear at a footy code shop up on the Gold Coast.
It was really good.
Not even Rebel Sport would have.
No, because I went to Rebel Sport beforehand because I always go to Rebel Sports around Adelaide and just look what they have rugby league. And I'm not going to say all of them, but I'm going to say 90% don't have rugby league. They've got soccer, they've got NFL, they've got NBL, NBA, AFL, every sport you could think of except for NRL. They sell footballs, like rugby league footballs.
Yep.
But they don't sell any merchandise. I feel like they should see this place.
Bit disappointing because you and me have seen people around Adelaide in their NRL teams gear. So there's obviously, it might be a small market, but there is obviously a market for NRL teams merchandise in Adelaide.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we should be very thankful that gives Sportsworks.
Yeah, I feel like if you're in Rundle and you want to have a look at their jerseys, not just their AFL obviously downstairs, but upstairs the rugby league jerseys, have a look. They've got a lot there. I would have spent my whole paycheck there in 10 seconds.
Yes.
It was like they retro jerseys, and they've got training jerseys, and they've got singlets, and they've got shorts and socks. Oh, you could get yourself out, and it would look good to see more people wearing rugby league gear in Adelaide. I don't see many people. I see people wearing like polo shirts for AFL, but I don't see many people wearing an AFL jersey, except for game day, really.
That's it, yes,
Is it too cold to wear an AFL jersey?
Probably is, or they wear them under their jackets. And
I always see a lot of polo, a lot of hats. Everyone has Adelaide hats, but yeah, like if I had my, I was always wear my Manly jerseys everywhere I go. I've got probably 13 or 14 Manly jerseys, and then I always wear them Adelaide because I want to show off my support for my team. Doesn't matter what state I'm in, I'm still a rugby league.
Yes, yeah.
If you go down to Sporting Gift Works, definitely buy yourself a jersey. Just don't buy a South jersey because they suck, but maybe not a Parramatta jersey because they suck. Maybe a Cronulla jersey. Cronulla, they could be the Smokies for this year.
Yes, yep.
And we'll talk about that later. Our top 4 predictions in our crystal ball. I'm interested to see who you pick for your top 4. You're going to put Manly in there. We'll talk about it later, but we'll definitely work.
All right.
Okay, we'll go on. So last week I talked about the stickers the Rampage League podcast stickers that I bought while I was medicated. So a lot of them. So if you want a sticker free of charge, I will not charge you a 1 cent. All you have to do, go onto our Facebook page, Rampage League Podcast.
Yep.
Give us a like, give us a follow. There's a post there. Send us an inbox or send us a comment. Give me your address because I've got to send it to you. Otherwise, I don't know where you're going. And I'll send you out maybe 3 or 4, 5 stickers. You can give them to your mum, your sister, your grandma, Uncle Steve down anywhere. We'll give you a sticker and you can just show your support for our podcast and it'll cost you nothing.
Definitely.
How many did I give you, Darren? I gave you so many stickers.
Absolutely. And I've got one on the front of my laptop here. So anyone here at the Brew Boys Brewery wants to have a look, I can happy to show you the one on my laptop. Or
I gave a few to the Brew Boys Brewery to hand out. So there's something I still got. Some.
Yeah, I've been told they've been given out. So yeah,
bring some more next week. I've got one in the back of my car with my Bring Back the Ram sticker. So yeah, if you want a sticker, just hit me up. I'm happy to part with them. I've got I did have 567. Hopefully, I've got that many now. I've probably got about 300, 400 left now, and they're no good to me if they're sitting at home. So if you can put them out, put them on your car, put them on your boat, put them on your phone, put them on your laptop, as you did.
Yep.
Stick them anywhere. And we just appreciate your support. Obviously, it's not just about the podcast. We want people to listen to the podcast so we can talk about getting a team in Adelaide. That's the whole point we do the podcast, is to get a team in Adelaide, because Adelaide is a beautiful city, especially this time of year. It was pretty cold late in the afternoon, but it was a beautiful day today.
Oh, it was.
Beautiful day.
Definitely.
I always say this on the podcast. Adelaide is so underrated as a city, and if obviously we've got the AFL here, we've got the soccer and NF and NBL, but we had a rugby league team. I think would just put us on another level as a sporting capital of Australia.
It would, and it would also bring closer the actual name of the National Rugby League, or the NRL. National. It's only partially national at the moment. And
I feel like it's the East Coast competition, really, isn't it?
Yes.
I always say, we always get left out. Adelaide, Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, they love themselves. I know they do. I've lived in all 3 states. I don't care about Adelaide. Well, we don't care about you guys. We're keen for a team in Adelaide and keen to. Mate, could you imagine just crystal ball and we get a team, we'll say by 2032, we make the grand final against, say, the Dolphins, and Adelaide wins the National Rugby League, bring the trophy. We can have a parade down Rundle Mall.
Yes, yep.
I'd be there.
Oh, so would I. Definitely.
I feel like, yeah. We'd obviously talk out of our ass a little bit here because we haven't got a team. But if we got a team, like the sky's the possibility with like if we get some decent rugby league facilities here. I know that juniors coming through in the junior comps. I know there's some decent talent there. That'd just be so good. Be so good.
Oh, it would be. And talking about Adelaide not getting a game, the Penrith Panthers and Midwestern Regional Council are thrilled to announce that the club will play an NRL Telstra Premiership match at the Glen Willow Stadium in Mudgee. Mudgee of all places.
I think they had a game last year too.
And it's not just one game. Each season over the next 2 years.
Yeah. I just feel like a club, an NRL club, if they wanted to make it easy money, basically, bring a game here, you get a bigger crowd than you would at your home ground, and do it like Panthers did, have like a 3 or 4 years, a 3 or 4 season like contract, play one game here, just don't make it in the middle of winter because it's freezing here.
Yeah.
But like, that'd be just good. I wouldn't even care who it was. Could be South, could be Parramatta, the two teams I hate, but I'd go watch it. I know a lot of people would love to see just a NRL game in SA. Stacey Lee would be keen too.
Oh, yes. No, definitely. I think we keep harping on it, but it just showed it was popular in Adelaide, State of Origin. We keep going on about it, but that was almost filled and 48,000 plus. And
I feel like that day was a good day for us. We met before and we met with a few other people from our Jumbuck Army, had a beer with them, some photos and whatever. I feel like I'd love to relive that day because it was just such a good day. We had interviews on ESPN and a couple other interviews we done. We had our signs. It was just, and then the game was so good, and it's just the atmosphere. It didn't show up on TV how good it was. Why? Adelaide Oval was such a great ground for any sport. I feel to watch. I feel like there's no bad spot to watch there.
No.
And it was one of the best days. It was just great. Michelle, let's give her a shout out for making the signs.
Yes.
She's a big Rams. She goes for the Roosters too. Oh, God, I forgot about that. And she loves Teddy. James Tedesco. But yeah, she made a big deal. She made the signs up for us that we bring back the Adelaide Rams.
Yep.
And it was the last game we had in Adelaide. She had the bring back the Adelaide Rams sign, and she was actually made the paper, and she was on like Box League. So she's I'm going to thank her for that.
Definitely.
There she is.
Yes, there she is. Yes.
She was a lovely girl. So hopefully, next time we get a game, hopefully sooner rather than later, we'll get her back with her bring back the Rams sign and get it back on TV because it's good to see like not just us but other people passionate about rugby league and SA and the Rams. I just want another game here.
Oh yes, I kind of feel that I enjoyed the AFL Gather Round. I went to one game last year, then went to watch a game in Elder Park this year.
Yeah.
But the atmosphere was different in a good way.
Yeah.
State of Origin, it was just, I enjoyed it more than I did the Gather Round. Nothing wrong with the AFL Gather Round, but there was just something about rugby league in Adelaide.
Yeah.
I know it's the State of Origin, so it's slightly, the atmosphere goes up, but I had a really good night and it was excellent.
I feel like the crowd is different for an AFL game to a rugby league game. It's just a different atmosphere. Like, both really good. Like, nothing like a live game AFL. I want to go see a Crows game or a Port game this year.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've seen one live game, which was the Brisbane Lions versus Carlton. I mentioned that previous podcast. But different crowd, different noise.
Yes.
Yeah, it's hard to explain. Different vibes too, but Adelaide Oval is a great place for sport.
Oh, it is. It's the hill, the scoreboard, just, as you said, not a bad spot anywhere in the ground to watch a sport.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, we'll go for another break and we'll come back with our round preview.
Okay.
When kids play rugby league, they're part of something bigger than a team. Whoa! Cool! They're part of a community that's safe, fair and fun. Play something unreal! PlayRugbyLeague.com.
The NRL season is tough on every player, but the off-season, well, it's toughest on us. The fans, the armchair critics, the loyal supporters. 13,276,980. That's how many ticks of the clock the off-season is. It feels like forever. But the start is finally here. A start the whole world will see. Not just the start of something great. It's the start of something unpredictable. Unrelenting. Unmissable. The start of something unreal.
This is the greatest sport ever invented.
NRL 2024. Let's go.
Yes, you're listening to the Rampage League podcast coming to you live from the Brew Boys Brewery down here in Croydon, South Australia, the new home of the Rampage League podcast. My name's Darren and my co-host tonight is Simon.
Simon, that is me. I am going to give you the preview with Darren's help of round 10. Around 10. That's a bit future. Round 8.
Round 8 already, wow.
It feels like it's going quick season already. And you kind of know it's getting around because it's starting to get cold now.
Yes.
So Thursday night, it's the Warriors versus the Titans in New Zealand. Last time they played, the Warriors won 28-18. The Warriors have a good team on paper. But they've been inconsistent. They've got a few ins now. They've got Dylan Walker's back, but they lose Kurt Capewell. And obviously the Titans, we've talked with them, they've struggled. They've got no wins, but they've got to win soon. Otherwise, dead score. Is it a danger game for the Warriors? 100% danger game for the Warriors.
Yes.
Like anyone who thinks the Warriors are just going to carve them up, they might. They might do. The Warriors are very dangerous. But it's a danger game because the Titans are going to be desperate. And a desperate team, they won't play the structure. I think they'll play a bit more like off-the-cuff kind of football. And they've got a dangerous team. What's your thoughts, Darren?
Well, they're coming up against the only winless side in the NRL this week. Of course, as we said, the Titans. Yep. There could have easily been no winless teams left at the conclusion of last round. But for the second week running, Titans ended up on the wrong side of a scoring shootouts. And
yeah, it was a scoring shootout. That's what I mean. They're dangerous because they can score points. The first kind of 5 or 6 rounds, they couldn't score a point. The last 2 rounds, they've found their attack. They've just got to work on that defense, and they'll beat someone. And it could be the Warriors. I'll put our tips in now if you're ready, Darren.
Yes,
I'm going to tip the Warriors anyway. So I just think in New Zealand, and they had a bad week last week, they're going to be too strong. I'm hoping it's a close game. I think it will be, but I feel sorry for them. I think they're going to lose another game, and I think the Warriors will win by 1-12. What's your thoughts on this, Darren?
Yeah, well, head-to-head prediction, and I did some research this week, and I've come up with a head-to-head prediction: New Zealand Warriors, and my other tip would be the over total match points. And Ihan Pereira will be the first try scorer.
He's a good. I would disagree. I disagree with that. He will score. I reckon he will score a try for the first, maybe. Yeah, let's hope so for the Titans fans. So we got there because this is Anzac Day.
Yes.
So this is the Thursday game, Anzac Day. So there's 3 games on Anzac Day, which is good, but not so good because it's a busy day for 3 games of football, especially if you're out doing dawn service or going to play 2-up or going to RSL. You got to watch 3 games. But the second game is the annual game on Anzac Day. It's the Dragons versus the Roosters. Last time they met was last year, obviously, and it was a close game. The Dragons won 24-22. And before that, the Roosters won. This was Anzac Day. 27-26. So the past 2 games, it shows it's going to be a close game. Will it be? I think it will be. I really do. So the Roosters bring back. They recalled Dominic Young from suspension. Sam Walker's back. Jack Bird's back for the Dragons. I always think of this game for Anzac Day because it's been going on for so long.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a close game, and I'm going to tip the Dragons by 2.
Right. It's going to be incredibly hard. Well, for me, it's incredibly hard to tip after the Dragons' resounding win over the highly rated Warriors last week. But my prediction is Sydney Roosters, and I think Zach Lomax will be first try scorer.
Zach Lomax has been in great form for the Dragons.
Definitely.
He's moved to the wing, and now he's obviously next year he's going to Parramatta, but he's been really good this year because last year he was a bit really up and down, so it wasn't really looking good for him. He's moved back to the centres this week, which might change his form a little bit, but I think he'll score, and he's been in great form.
Yes.
The last game for Anzac Day is the Storm versus the Rabbits at Amy Park. So the Storm, they're they're just a great team. I kind of hate them because they're so well coached, because it's just always up there. So South, they've recalled a few players that they dropped the previous round. 'Cause they had the bye last week. So Damien Cook's back, which is they need. He's a big part of the team. I think dropping him was a massive mistake. But they haven't got any Latrell Mitchell. Jack White, he's been good form.
Yes.
I just see their halves are a bit weak. So Cody Walker last year, most of last year, a couple of the last couple, he's been a great player, but he's just been out of form a little bit. Maybe the bye helped him and he's back, he found his mojo. But in Melbourne, the Melbourne's team, I think they're going to win 13 plus, which I thought it's Darren.
Yeah, well, they're coming off the Bunnies return from the bye with some much needed points after and they've also got their embattled coach. What's another issue on top? Jason Demetrio still at the helm, so they kind of need that win to maybe give him another week. So, but my prediction is Melbourne Storm and 13 plus.
13 plus. So the Friday game, there's only one game on Friday because of Anzac Day. It's at a lovely ground called Four Pines Park, which is Brookvale for us.
Yes.
It's the mighty Manly Seals versus the Parramatta slippery scum of the earth Eels. Danger game for Manly.
Very.
We lost last start to Parramatta, and they seem to always kind of test us. So if you look at the teams, there's not really much difference. Manly welcome back Nathan Brown, Josh Ale, I can't say his name. Marcus Seaver comes back for the Parramatta, but at Brookvale, you'd hope a massive crowd at Brookie Friday night. The Mitchell Moses still not back for Parramatta. I'm obviously going to tip Manly. I'm going to go 1-12. I think we really struggle against Parramatta for some reason.
We do, yes.
So, I think we'll win, but I think it's going to be a high scoring match, and I think we'll win just.
Yep.
What's your thoughts, Darren?
Yes, my prediction would be Manly, Sea Eagles, and both fullbacks to score.
Yeah. Pete Gutherson, all the Manly player, lives in Manly and plays for Parramatta, so he'll score. The 5 o'clock game on Saturday is the West Tigers versus the Brisbane Broncos. Last time these guys met, the Broncos smashed the Tigers. It was 46-12. I've got a feeling that's going to be a similar outcome for this game. Arnold Reynolds is back, so that's big for them. Payne Haas is back. Selwyn Cobbo's out. Ezra Mann is out for the Bronx. But they've just got a good team, and I feel sorry for the poor Tigers, but I think they're going to get smashed. What's your thoughts, Darren?
With Adam Reynolds and Payne Haas still unknown, so it could be this week, it could not. But I've gone for Brisbane Broncos and Reece Walsh, anytime try scorer.
Oh, Reece Walsh, yeah, perfect eyebrows. Might be the best looking guy in rugby league. He'll score. So the second game, this is going to be a really good game. This is from Townsville. This is the Cowboys versus the Panthers. Big in for the Panthers is their Prince, and is Nathan Cleary. He's back. That's a big in for
very
Panthers. You look at their team, and it just looks like a team that is that could be a state of origin team. That's how good they've got. So I think it's going to be a good game. It's in Townsville, which is a big plus for the Cowboys. But the Cowboys have been inconsistent, and the Panthers, I feel like, are just flexing their muscles a little bit. Now Cleary's back. I think they'll win. I think they'll win 13 plus. I think it'll be close to about 60 minutes, and then I think Cleary will put his stamp on it, and they'll win 13 plus. What's your thoughts, Darren?
I think the purring Panthers are ready to pounce, and this could be the week we finally see Nathan Cleary return. Bold. Penrith Panthers and Nathan Cleary to score 10 plus.
Yeah, so the last time they played was 44-12 to the Panthers. That was last round of last year. So I think the Panthers got that one. So the Sunday game, this one is interesting for me. It's the Dolphins versus the Knights. As I keep saying, so they've got no Kalen Ponga, big out. Jack Hetherington, he's gone too. He got suspended. You see this in the tunnel? Reed Marnie was going off, and he was waiting for him in the tunnel. Kind of looked like a bit of fun, but then he kind of threw a half punch.
There was a little bit of a tussle just before the end of the game between Jack Hetherington and Reed Marnie. Now, this was in the tunnel, which the NRL are now investigating, which looks a little bit like they're joking, but then it gets serious.
Yeah, well, prior to this, if you've only just watched this vision, both of them were in a heated argument on the field. The referee was going to leave them on the field. He then opted to send them 10 in the bin. And then we see this footage. It's hard to tell whether Hetherington's joking. He's got a smile on his face, but well and truly pushes Reed. Reed not real sure what to do with it here. He's shaping up. He's bouncing. I'm not sure. I don't know if they're good mates or not. But
No, I don't think they are, Corey. And I know Jack quite well. And although he may look like he's G'ing up, I don't think he is. I think he's serious.
The support staff react quickly. So it gives a lot of things of joking around to start with, but support staff come in. So that is a crazy scene to see in the tunnel.
Like, was it serious? Was it a joke?
From what I've seen and from what I've heard from commentary, they're saying it started off as fun and then it might have got serious. But I would have liked to have seen it from start to finish.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm missing part of it. And
I feel like Jack Hetherington, he's a good player, but he just gets in a lot of trouble. Not just that, obviously, it's just stupid, but he gets a lot of sin bins.
Yes.
A lot of high tackles. He used to play for the Panthers, and then he's moved to a couple of clubs now. I feel like he's got to go to anger management or something because he just always seems to be in trouble.
Well, I've heard that they're not friends, and yet, why they were in the tunnel in the first place? They were both sin bins, so they were making their way down to the sin bin. And
So the last time they played was round 23, and the Knights won 30 points at 28. I feel like the Dolphins will win this just because of Callum Ponga being out. I think it's a big out. It's also getting played at Suncorp, so it's a home crowd for the Dolphins. And I think the Dolphins will win. What's your thoughts, Darren, on this game?
Dolphins for me, and Jack Bostock 2+ tries. Yep.
So Saturday we got the 3:30 game. Sorry, Sunday. I'm a day behind. So Sunday 3:30. So the Dolphins play Sunday, and so do the Raiders versus the Sharks. From Canberra, it's guaranteed to be freezing. The Sharks obviously on top of the ladder. The Raiders, they're good at home. The big out is obviously Braden Trindle for the Sharks. He's out, and so they've got a guy named Daniel Atkinson as he's moved into the halves. I've never heard of him. I wouldn't know much about him.
No.
But also out for the Raiders, a big out is Jamal Fogarty, their halfback.
Right.
He's been really good for them. So that's two big outs. KO Weeks comes in, who's actually a former Manly player. He plays in the halves. Saints, because Jamal Fogarty is out, leans me towards the Sharks winning because they've obviously got Nico Hines, who's just a class player, and Blake Brayley, there's another great player that they've got, and Cameron McGuinness. I think them three will get them over the line. I think they'll win by 1-12.
Yep.
And the last time they played, it was the Sharks won 36-22, and then before that they won 24-6. So they've kind of got the wood over the Raiders for the last two games, and I think they will continue. What's your thoughts, Darren?
Well, I'm expecting the Raiders to provide plenty of resistance in front of their home support of home fans in such a momentous round. So saying that, I'm going for Cronulla Sharks and Ronaldo Mulitalo, first try scorer.
Cronulla, I think they'll win that. So the last game, it's not actually a game on Sunday. It's the Bulldogs versus the Bye. Okay, so the Bye has been really, really poor lately, and I think Bulldogs beat the Bye last time they played. So I think the Bulldogs will enjoy their bye, and they'll have their feet on the couch, listening to some Morgan Wallen and Luke Combs on the radio, having a cup of tea and a bicky, and they will look forward to next week. So that's our round preview. Love to know if anyone has any thoughts about our tips and if we've got it completely wrong.
Yes.
If you think that we're terrible tipsters, I'd love to hear your thoughts and tell me who you would tip.
Absolutely. And now you can, if you missed the tips in the podcast and go and listen to the podcast, you can listen to the Goal Gurus, where we just take out our preview and tips each week.
I listened to that. I sent the link and I listened to it. I'm like, what's this? I didn't know it was me and you. It's us. It's us talking. So
yes, yep.
So we'll do our shout outs now. Obviously, shout outs we've started doing this. This is the third or fourth week. We give shout outs to random listeners to the podcast. Since it's ANZAC Round, a big shout out to all defence personnel, current and previous serving members. Thank you for everything you do for the country. I know it's probably a tough job. And, it's just appreciated. You know, like you're away from families, you go overseas, you deploy, you do a lot of training. It's a dangerous job, and I just feel like this one day of the year is just your day, and it's just all about you guys. And just thank you so much for your service, and I love you all. So I'll say with that, big shout out to you.
Definitely, and I'll second everything Simon said to our servicemen and women, both past and present. Thank you very much for everything you've done and are still doing for our country.
Beautiful. Love it. All right, Darren, let's go for another quick break and we'll come back with our rankings of the ANZAC jersey.
Have you thought about promoting your business, event or product on radio? Getting your product, service on radio is easier than you think. Consider sponsoring Adelaide's only dedicated rugby league podcast on Ausports Radio. In return for your sponsorship, we offer fully voiced and produced sponsorship announcements played during the live recording and broadcast, as well as online promotion if that tickles your fancy as well. For more information, send an email to our marketing team at ozsportsonline.com.
You're tuned into the Rampage League podcast on Ozports Radio.
We're back. We're back to the Rampage League podcast.
That's right, with Simon and Darren.
With Darren and Simon. It's either way, it's good, isn't it?
It is, absolutely.
It's funny because, random, I never get called Simon except for from my mum and for the podcast.
Oh, right.
So my nickname is Rolly. So, yeah, you can call me Rolly or call me Simon. You should call me Simon on the podcast. But yeah, it's really weird. Simon? Oh, that's me. That's what my mum called me. Yeah, thanks.
Yes.
So,
well, right.
Let's go on with the not the rankings, but the top three ANZAC jersey. I feel like every year I love my jerseys. I love collecting my jerseys, and the big ones are obviously home and away jerseys you see every week. You've got the Indigenous round. I love seeing that. Women in the League round, I think they still do that, and the ANZAC jerseys. I love ANZAC jerseys. Some put a lot of effort into it, some not so much. And my top three is coming in third place for the ANZAC jersey is the Canberra Raiders jersey. So it's just a simple camouflage jersey, but it just looks nice. It's simple. It's nice. Number two is going to be surprised. It's the Manly Sea jersey. It's
surprise!
It's a navy kind of themed jersey with some gold stripes, and it looks clean, looks beautiful. And my favourite ANZAC jersey is the Cowboys jersey. I don't support the Cowboys, but I would buy the jersey just because it's that good. It is a beautiful jersey representing Kriaria in Townsville. It's a good jersey. Have you seen the jersey for the Cowboys jersey?
Yes. I think that would have to be my favourite, yes.
And a big shout out, obviously, only top three, but the Warriors jersey, I feel like it's just basically it's the New Zealand flag with the silver fern down the bottom. And I just love, I don't know, it just looks good. Like, because obviously New Zealand, it's Anzac Day, so it's for New Zealand as well.
Oh, of course,
and
yes.
So I just love the flag. It just looks tough. It's got the soldier leaning on the. It just looks. If you haven't seen the Warriors, Raiders, Cowboys on Manly, jump on Google and Google them. Tell me what your thoughts are on it and what your favourite jersey is for Anzac Day. I feel like the Dragons jersey is always really good. The Broncos jersey is really good. So like, what's your like? I don't think the Titans and Newcastle pulled it off this year, but I'd love to know anyone. So let me know. Let me know in the comments on the Facebook page, Rampage League Podcast, or on this platform listening on what your favourite jersey was. South's jersey is also good. It's another Navy themed jersey, just like their ceremonial dress.
Yep.
But it's obviously a uniform. It's a rugby league jersey. It's quite interesting. The thing I'd like to talk about is the sponsors on these jerseys look huge though. So there's Souths, the Cowboys, and the Bulldogs.
Yes,
I see car manufacturers on their jersey. It just looks huge, doesn't it? Like
it does, and it's for a special round like this. You're wondering what the relevance is. I know that these days you've got to rely on sponsorship to keep the club going, but I think they could have taken a step back and maybe had smaller logo and something a bigger Anzac related logo.
Well, it still looks good, the jersey, but just they're big logos. They're massive.
Yeah.
So, do you have a top three favourite jerseys, Darren, for the Anzac round? I better be Manly up there somewhere, surely.
I think I'd have to go Manly, South Sydney.
Yeah, that's nice.
And then the Raiders.
I think the Raiders. It's just a simple camouflage jersey, which obviously the Army wear camouflage, the Air Force wear camouflage,
they do,
blue, and the Navy wear camouflage. So
yes,
it kind of it's just clean. Yeah, it just looks nice. So yeah, I hope people go out there and buy their favourite team's Anzac jersey.
Yep.
Because I remember years and years ago, I kicked myself every time. So the Panthers had a really good Anzac jersey. It had the Rising Sun badge, which is an Army badge.
Yes.
It was gold. And then they only had it for 1 year and they changed it. And I tried to buy it on eBay and you can't get it.
Wow. Right.
It was black jersey, Panthers obviously, with a big Rising Sun badge on it. It just looked awesome. And sometimes I see random people wearing it. I'm so jealous. I want that jersey.
Yes,
so, it's good. Yeah, obviously you got the home and away jerseys, but the Anzac jersey, I feel like it's just special. Just special to wear more than a normal Panthers jersey or Raiders jersey. The Anzac jerseys they're just extra special.
Absolutely, I think it's part of our DNA. Whether you've served or you are currently serving, or just an Australian. I think it's ANZAC is something that we take special pride in.
Yeah.
It's one day that we don't think about ourselves. I think, yeah.
I feel like definitely Australian people, New Zealand people, Anzac Day is very special. If you're not from Australia, New Zealand, you don't really understand Anzac Day like Australian New Zealand people do. Like I remember learning in school about Anzac Day.
Yes.
Anzac Day, I always get up for the dawn service.
Yes, same here. Yes.
I see people walking around, former soldiers, current soldiers, and I just look at them like, wow, like you're amazing. Like you don't realize how important you are to us.
Yeah.
Not just saying that, like obviously we've got policemen, ambulance, all first responders are amazing people. And I just, Anzac Day obviously for Defence Force, but we just got to remember like how lucky we are in Australia. Other countries aren't so lucky as us.
No.
What are you doing, Darren, for Anzac Day?
Well, all going well. If the weather behaves itself, I usually go along to my local dawn service, then walk back to my local RSL, have a breakfast with veterans, and then make my way into the city and march as a next of kin. Yeah.
So tell us, Darren, who was your serving member in there?
Grandfather.
So
yep.
What was he? Was he Army, Navy?
Army in the Army in the engineer in Papua New Guinea.
Wow. Well, thank you for your service to your relatives.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I'll be doing a similar thing. I'll get up for dawn service. It's early, but it's one day of the year.
It is, yes.
And I feel like if you don't get up and just have a sleep because it's a public holiday, it's not really Australian. You get up, you go to dawn service. You remember the people who have fallen before us, make this country so good. So I'll be going to dawn service, and then I'll be going into the city and just having a beer with some ex-serving members and have a yarn and just have a chat. Enjoy the day. Not like you don't really celebrate it because it's a sad day, but you just celebrate knowing that we're such a lucky country and all this previous serving members years thanking, really, don't you?
Definitely. Maybe a bit of two-up?
Play two-up. I've never played two-up.
No.
Never. I always look at it and go, I'm going to be terrible at that, but I'm going to give it a go this year. I'll give it two-up a go.
Right.
Not as bad as my tipping. Surely it'll be better than my tipping.
That's it. Yes.
Right, so we're going to go into our crystal ball prediction. Okay. So Darren, I'm going to put you on the spot here. So you got no time to prepare for this. So our top 4 predictions. So this is obviously round 8. There's another 21 rounds to go. I'd love to see revisit this in round 27. So I'm going to give you my top 4, and then you can give me your top 4. All right? So I'm going to go on the top of the ladder, Warriors. Okay. Second on the ladder, the Panthers. Third on the ladder, the Seagulls, and fourth on the ladder.
Right.
And did I say the Panthers? I didn't put the Panthers in there, but they'll be up there as well somewhere. But yeah, that's my top 4. Love to hear your top 4, Darren.
Okay. Well, I guess I'd have to go Manly.
Nice.
Warriors.
Yep. The Wars.
Yep. Raiders.
Raiders. Yeah. Sneaky.
And maybe Dolphins.
Dolphins. Yeah, that'd be actually a really interesting top 4. A lot of people would be shocked. I tell you who won't be in the top 4, and that'd be the Titans.
That's it.
They're not a chance. Now I've said that, they'll make the top 4.
You watch, they will, yes.
And everyone like, you said they will. Oh, yeah, there's my expert commentary going. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see. We'll check that in a few rounds, how we're going. Well, that's about it for today, isn't it, Darren? We've had a good podcast.
We have.
Brew Boys Brewery's going off. There's some people playing pool down there. Some people having a few drinks. Yeah.
Definitely. It's a really good crowd tonight. We thank everyone for sticking around and listening to us just talk about rugby league. And yeah.
And we'll be back again next week for another Rampage League podcast.
Definitely.
Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your Anzac Day. And obviously make sure you thank a veteran for me. Yeah. See you next week.
Yes. See you next week.
Definitely.
Yes.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.